Okay, the next 928 project today is to see if we can't fix the bouncing fuel gauge. So it seems like it's not unusual for the cinders to get dirty and corroded. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can't get it to come out. I do have a new seal for it. Gotta be. Try not to peel up all the insulation with this thing. Yeah, because we'll make sure we get it back in the right spot. That there is the fuel level sender. So we'll take off the return hose and see if we can't get that little ring to come off and lift the thing out. Okay, we're about to get the fuel return line off. Won't be surprised if there's some gas there, so we'll try and get some paper towels ready to collect that. We'll see if we set that there. Let's go on off of there. I don't think there's anything in there, but we'll plug it with the diff fluid bottle top. It's just the right size to plug it, and it was handy. Alright, now I gotta see if we can get that plastic ring to come loose. Alright, now we'll see if we can't get that plastic ring off without breaking it. Just use these to hold the thing. This little more room. Yes, there we go. Oh no. Well, maybe that's. Now it's off now. Okay. Get that out of the way. There we go. Now, I just gotta get this off somehow. Let's try this. If I can get it under it. It's wiggling around a bit. Yeah, it looks like we got the sender free from the seal, but the seal's still stuck on the tank. Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh shit. Don't want to knock that plug off. But yeah, there we go. That's free. Should probably go get something to put this in. Alright, so we got something to put this in now. Oh lord. That's pissing gas out the side of it. Guess it's got chambers or something. Yeah, there's still a little bit of gas in this part, which I guess that might be the fluid or some sort of cup around it to keep the fuel sloshing or baffling or something, I don't know. Anyway, let's... There, and we only made a marginally reasonable mess down there, but hey, there's our fuel tank. So let's get this on the bench. So getting this thing on a bench, it does look kind of crusty in some places. I'm assuming that line's varnish from where gas was sitting in it when I got it. And who knows how long it had been sitting. It looks like there's a nut or something on the bottom there, and it's filthy, but maybe that's what I think that's what we got to get apart to get the thing apart and get into it, so we'll have to see if we can't get that off. Okay, so it turns out that is a 5.5 millimeter. So we'll see if we can't get it to, it's actually spinning. We'll set this aside here, where it'll stay in the socket. Okay. Let that cup off. And I got this piece on the end of the tube, and it kind of looks a little bit crusty in there. Yeah, I can see some rust and other crap. So I think we're on the right track. It looks like we got another nut. So now will this end piece come off? Looks like it's got some little tabs on it, sort of, but oh yeah, there we go. Well, that's nasty looking in there. This thing's nasty looking, and down in there's pretty nasty looking too. So hopefully we can clean this up and get this thing operational again. So fortunately it seems like this tube just comes off. And we've got to be careful because I don't know how well they show up here, but those thin little wires are, I think, how it measures the resistance here. But yeah, that looks all nasty. No wonder this thing was not working that well. So I don't want to do anything too aggressive here and damage these wires, but it looks like most of this crap just kind of comes off if you just brush it off. So at least down to the point where the rust starts. Maybe we'll get this, I don't even know what this is, this green corrosion off first. Yeah, look at that. It's all nasty. Alright, so we wiped all the corrosion crap off with a paper towel, but just kind of got to scrape at this rust a bit, I guess. Now this stuff isn't, have anything to do with it sensing the level, but it's just filthy and want to get it cleaned off. So the way it looks like this thing works is those contacts on the float there, is the thing goes, let's see if it'll move here nicely, as the thing goes up and down, to rub the wire there, and I think that might be what's dirty here. Yeah, they look a little dirty. Hold it up to the light. So we'll see if we can't gently scrape the corrosion off of them and see if that helps some. So actually I think I see how the low fuel light works. See that plastic piece at the bottom has those little contacts on it. And it looks like when the float goes down all the way, it touches there, and I just scraped the varnish off of those because they were pretty nasty looking. And it looks like that thick wire then carries that all the way up to that pin there. So that should, I guess we'll have to clean the bottom of it, but the contacts on the float for that are clean, but I think to get them clean in there, we'll just use a small screwdriver to sort of gently scrape the crap off of them. There. So this is by no means a restoration of this part, but it should make it function again. They're dirty in there for sure. And the ever reliable flashlight has fallen. This is hard to see for sure, but I think we're definitely making a difference there. I think maybe what we ought to do is put this back together and just plug it into the car, not put it all the way in the tank, and see if it works all the way up and down now. Alright, so what we've done is put the sender, to set it in here, and plugged in the connector to it. And the key's on up there, so we'll just go ahead and connect the battery. And actually we can see our fuel gauge go up there. And if we slide this down, we can watch it go down. And I can see why it was jumping before, because if I wiggle it side to side a bit, I get it doing that same thing on the dash. So maybe those contacts are breaking contact with it when the thing moves around some, and it needs them pushed in a little bit. Yeah, this is a good time to see where your fuel gauge works at. So let's go up here. It looks like we're right above the orange line, and you see we still got a little bit of room left back here. So if I pull it all the way down, let's go see, that's bottomed out. We're right below the orange line, and if I shut the key off, the gauge does go a little further down. So orange is pretty empty, for sure. Now if I put this all the way to the top, so we should be full on our gauge. We don't actually get quite all the way to full. So full for us is halfway between full and 3/4. And same thing, so I'll set it to about half. That looks like it's about halfway up and down the travel, but maybe not necessarily half a tank. And that does look like we're actually right below half a tank. So at the top end it's a little bit off, but as you go down it's okay. Yeah, back over to the car, so we'll go ahead and get this put back in place. Move that out of the way. I was just there to keep crap out. There we go. That's in place. And I guess before we put the nut and everything back on, let's check one more time. Make sure our fuel gauge is working up there. I guess it's that chamber inside must be filling with gas. That's how they keep it from fuel sloshing, making it bounce around. So I actually should see it going up. Anyway, so it seems like it's working good. So let's get the thing put back together. Alright, well we're all back together, so we'll go check one more time and see that the gauge is working before we put all the carpet and everything back down. But yeah, so it's probably got 3/4 of a tank is where that's actually sitting. So I think that's about right, and it seems like we're working pretty good. So we'll just have to wait and see if it works, because before it was below half a tank it would start getting funny. So we'll have to run it out of some gas. That'll be so awful to do, run the Porsche out of gas. There, and Lamborghini thinks they're fancy with hexagons. The whole, interior sound deadening, whatever this stuff is on the floor of this car, is all hexagons. Or are they pentagons? No, hexagons. Yeah, I can count.